here we are, finally under sail.
In this episode of Sailing Eva, we visit Lake Washington for a day sail. We entered the lake using only our Genoa head sail. This was our first time sailing in Lake Washington. We have sailed in the Puget Sound and Lake Union before today. Each location offered a different and unique experience. We saw a few other sailboats out today enjoying the almost perfect weather conditions. There were a few jet skiers zipping by who also wanted to join in on the fun. At this point, I felt we made it far enough out to deploy the mainsail and start cruising. As you will notice, we left our dinghy on deck just in case we wanted to venture out and explore closer to shore. However, honestly, we enjoyed sailing so much, we decided not to even put the dinghy in the water. Walking around the deck and taking in the whole experience made me feel like the day just couldn't get any better. Along for the ride this time was our crew, our two little pups, Milo and Margot. This was their first time sailing with us. They seemed a bit unsure about the whole thing at first, but came around to the idea once the winds picked up. Until this point, we have never sailed Eva faster than, say, 3 or 4 knots. Today, we decided we would try to bring the speed up a bit and see how fast we can get her. Still being new to sailing in general, we managed to get Eva to 6.8 knots. Looking back on things now, we could have done a bit better, but still, 6.8 knots was still a personal record. And as you'll see here, this is the moment those jet skiers decided that they would zip right on by us. At first, I was a little scared about the wake they might create, but thankfully they didn't really create any wake and there weren't really a lot of winds, so we had literally the perfect sailing conditions, at least for, well, inexperienced sailors such as ourselves. At this point, we had both sails up as we sat back and enjoyed the ride. Not that you can really tell in the video, but our Genoa has seen better days. We might replace it or at least clean and stitch it back together, as there are definitely some areas that have torn a bit. We are still getting the hang of sailing in the relative safety of both Lake Union and Lake Washington before we attempt to head back out to the Puget Sound. However, we can't wait to visit the San Juan Islands. I guess you could say it's definitely on our bucket list, along with cruising out of the Puget Sound one day and doing a real passage. We don't want to get in over our heads, so we decided to play it safe and master the basics, and just get better at the basic act of sailing before attempting anything like that, at least for now. Also, full disclosure, we are planning on taking some ASA sailing courses to get better at the art and craft of sailing. This is going to be a huge step forward for us, as we'll finally for sure know the best and right way to do things when it comes to sailing. Up until this point, all the stuff that we know about sailing has come from YouTube videos, books, and personal experience out on the lakes. Something that we're definitely planning on getting better at, obviously with time, practice, and proper education. For those who don't know, the ASA stands for American Sailing Association. It is basically an organization that sets up multiple training sites and facilities that teach the art of sailing, from the basics of sailing to the most advanced levels of sailing, including charting, plotting, docking, all of those things. So we're definitely going to be on the market and looking around for a good ASA sailing course and, of course, location to learn how to to sail properly. And yeah, we'll be glad to take you guys along for the ride as we further our education and experience in sailing and teach you some of the not so common things that a lot of people just either don't mention in their videos or just it's hard to find information. So if we find anything like that, we'll definitely let you guys know and post it in the YouTube channel as well, just so you guys can kind of get some tips and pointers while we're going through the process and learning ourselves. So something that we thought we'd offer back for all of you out there who are looking to do something similar, or if you're just interested in learning how to sail and are planning on getting even a smaller vessel, a lot of this stuff will apply for that as well. Because the art of sailing doesn't just apply to larger boats, it's larger boats, small boats, but the basics are always the same. I'll leave you with some panoramic shots here to just kind of sit back and enjoy. As you can see, it was a beautiful day to be out sailing. However, coming up, we are going to be practicing sailing in slightly rougher conditions here in the Pacific Northwest, sailing out in the late October, September months, as well as we go into December and November, or November then December, I should say. So yeah, we still plan on doing some winter sailing as well. And that's going to be another experience for us to go through, but we really need to get used to that if we're going to be planning on doing any long passages in the future. You know, I've heard of some pretty wonderful spots to anchor out in the San Juan Islands. Something that, well, the wife and I would really like to experience. The only problem, we don't have a lot of time off from work and have been kind of resorting to using our vacation times and PTO to cover some of our sailing exploits. With that said, moving forward, we're planning on saving up some PTO and seeing if we can rendezvous with some more experienced sailors who are willing to take their time to take us to some of these spots in the San Juan Islands and go cruising with us, just so we have a buddy boat. Now, I do have one person in mind, our old friend Brian. He has a 32-foot vessel himself and ventures out through the San Juan Islands on a semi-regular basis, so he might just end up being the one that we go with to the San Juan Islands to explore. However, since he also works, it's going to be kind of difficult to try to line up both of our days off to do so. And we don't exactly know exactly how long or how many days we need to take off to spend a few days out there. I mean, just sailing from where we are in Lake Union up to the San Juan Islands is a multi-hour ordeal we're talking probably anywhere between 6 to 9 hours just to get up there, and that's if we're sailing at average speeds of about 4 knots. So I guess only time will tell. In the meantime, we'll be taking this opportunity to practice our sailing in Lake Washington and Lake Union, just to get our skills up a bit more before taking on the San Juan Islands. At this point in the video, we've mainly been sailing in the northern part of Lake Washington, mainly because we'd have to go over 2 bridges just to get into Lake Washington from Lake Union, and we didn't really feel like going under more bridges just to explore more of the lake. However, that is something we're planning on doing in the future. Well, for now, we'll just continue going ahead and enjoying sailing out on the water. And as you can hear, this is the only sound we hear under sail. No motor, no obnoxious diesel or gasoline engine running, simply the waves crashing into the hull and the wind. Thank you for watching. Join us next time as we start to plan Eva's refit and get her ready for a new kind of adventure.